floor is open for discussion.
Sir, I'm Commander Batra. I am a naval officer, and I really appreciate from my heart because I have studied in Karnataka, and I must say with pride that although I am a non-Kannada speaking person, I can sing you a song in Kannada because I represented the Karnataka Directorate in NCC Prime Minister's Rally in 1984. I have only one thing to say, sir, that I have been brought up I am a son of a central government officer, and we have lived in various states. But I am a person who has developed love for Hindi as a mother tongue, and wherever I went in various parts of the country, like in Kannada or in Gujarat, I have developed love for it. I have translation directories, dictionaries in which I developed. And let me tell you, sir, a soldier is a person who was ancestrally ancient tradition because we consider it our strength. So why do not we give this agenda to a national population which is about more than 15 lakh, that we can assign some military regiments or the military to help. They have pockets which are regiment based, they are state-wide based, their mother tongue is like Dogras, the Sikh regiment. Although there will be certain protocol issues, it's just created thinking because you said. So is there some way we can use the military for
of the population? But what I am stating is, in general, in Karnataka, many people come to see me, and they bring their grandchildren, and those grandchildren ask me, those grandchildren who are doing engineering or medicine, etc., they ask me, sir, how many of your books are translated into English, and tell me the names of the publishers so that we can read your books. They are all Kannada children. And then I ask them, why don't you read in original Kannada itself? They say, we don't know how to read Kannada. Almost all the city children do not know Kannada, do not know how to read Kannada. And the trend is spreading to towns also and gradually to villages also. That is why I think within next 25 years, there will not be any Kannada reading population, educated Kannada reading population, and also there will not be any Kannada writer, because all these children, who, if they have any capacity or any talent to write literature, they cannot write in Kannada, and they try to write in English. And Indians writing in English, it is my firm belief, cannot produce any first-rate literary work because it is not our language. An Indian can write first-rate literary work only in his mother tongue, that is, only in one of the Indian languages. And this I can illustrate by taking the problem of translation. My books are translated into almost all Indian languages. For the translator, translating an Indian literary work from one Indian language to another Indian language is not very difficult. But to translate an Indian language literature into English is very, very difficult. I have taught philosophy at the university level for 33 years, but I can write applications in English, I can give lectures in English like this. I feel so sorry that because of my education background, I can use only English to give a lecture and not any other Indian language except Kannada. But I cannot write a short story in English, impossible. I cannot translate one of my literary works into English, it's impossible for me. If somebody translates my works into English and asks me to read and correct it. I can read it, but I cannot correct it because I don't have a feel for it. I have traveled extensively in English-speaking countries, but I know that English is different from the English which I know. So it's impossible. It kills our creativity. Not only in literature, but even in science. There is a, we have observed even in today's newspaper that India hasn't got even one among the 200 best universities of the world, not even one university. Why? Because the thing is, we do not encourage our children to think originally, that is true. But original thinking is possible only in one's mother tongue. But with English medium, it's impossible because you are thinking in an alien language. At least if up to completion of high school, if children are made to think, if they are introduced into English, introduced into thinking in their own mother tongue, they will develop. I have my own scheme about it. I will briefly explain it. Teach your mother tongue till the completion of high school. Let mother tongue be the medium of instruction till the completion of high school. From standard 5th, teach English as a language, not as a medium of instruction. But at the high school level, teach science, mathematics, social studies and history, etc. in Kannada, in your mother tongue, and also introduce English words. For example, if you say Amlajanaka in Kannada, in most of the Indian languages it is Amlajanaka. You explain it saying means father, Amlajanaka. And then in the same way, take the scientific words used in our Indian languages, explain it, and also introduce the English words also, and explain some linguistic similarity in it also. Let the students be acquainted with the English terminologies and use some English sentences also, but the medium of instruction should be the mother tongue. And then when the students goes to pre-university, continue this, but up to high school, mother tongue should be the language in which the students should answer. But when you go to pre-university, the student should have the freedom to answer either in the mother tongue or in English, but evaluate all the papers without distinction of language, depending upon the content and the logic behind the answer. And at the degree level also, teach in the mother tongue, explain in English, and let the students also read in English, because when you go higher and higher, especially the science subjects, the descriptive part of the language will diminish and only a symbolic language will remain, and it is easy to understand the symbolic logic. Let the students answer either in English or in the mother tongue. Give the freedom to it, so that mother tongue will survive and the original thinking and grasping capacity of the students will also survive and develop. This is the way to develop our intelligentsia. But we are going in the wrong way. That is why our universities do not, any of our university doesn't figure in among the first 200 in the whole world. That should be the educational pattern. But the Supreme Court, which has given judgment about it, saying the medium of instruction should be left to the students and the parents. At the primary level, what does the child know about the medium of instruction? It is only the parents, and the craze is developed among the parents, saying, if my child studies in English medium, it will go to heaven, it will go to America, it will become this, that, etc. In fact, it kills the intelligence of the student. That's my point.
The points that you have made regarding education in the vernacular are well taken, but I would like to highlight certain problematics which is inherent into your speech or in your certain positions that you have taken. One of which is you seem to be saying that Sanskrit is the mother of all Indian languages. Now I think that statement is essentialist in nature, in the sense that all the Indian languages developed not by the support of Sanskrit language, or not by drawing from the Sanskrit language, but it was by agitating against Sanskrit language. Because Sanskrit essentially was the language of spirituality, and it was monopolized by the upper caste in the society. So that is something I want you to explain. And secondly,
first let me
my question.
First question, and then we will ask you a second question.
Why? Sir, my second question is in connection with the first question.
Yes.
The second position you seem to be taking is, you said that the proliferation of English language in academia and otherwise in present day India is something to be critiqued and interrogated thoroughly. But my point is that English is occupying a position today which Sanskrit occupied in the ancient India. Both languages are the languages of power, languages of monopoly, language of money. So, and most importantly, both these languages, in fact, Sanskrit used to be the language of exclusion. It did not have the access to knowledge.
I have understood the question. Let me answer.
But the English, on the other hand,
I have understood the sociology behind your question. Let me answer. What I mean to say is, I never say that Sanskrit should be the medium of instruction. Impossible. I say mother tongue. See, the two are different units. Just because it is, that's why I have said section 1, section 2, section 3. Section 1 I have spoken about the Indian economy. It has not, though indirectly it is connected with the medium of instruction. Sanskrit also is indirectly connected with the medium of instruction. I maintain that medium of instruction should be Sanskrit. But if you go higher and higher, there must be technical terminology should be in the mother tongue. Sanskrit is the most suitable, Sanskrit has the most suitable technical terminologies because all these are scientific terminologies. And in our tradition, we have got certain words in Sanskrit. I have mentioned here that in 1967 or 68, I attended a technical terminology commission held by the UGC in Delhi. And there they discovered that in almost all Indian languages, science terminologies are almost the same, except some regional variations. Now what happens is, if these terminologies are used with some commonality, a science book written by a Bengali can be easily understood by a Kannada man or a Marathi or a Hindi man, provided it is written in the common script. A science book written by a Kannada man can easily be understood by the Hindi man, because as you go to higher and higher level in language becomes less and less descriptive, more and more symbolic. That is why we can develop our own science and our own thinking instead of depending entirely on English language. Now, if we do not have a complete mastery over the English language, what will happen to our learning of science? What do the Germans do? What do the Japanese do? What do the other European languages do? Now, we have to develop our own Indian science, Indian languages, and through this, retaining the identity of our mother tongue, we can also develop common Indian science terminologies. That is what I mean. I don't say that Sanskrit should become the medium of instruction. No, it's impossible. You see, there is a streak of sociology in your question, saying now English is dominating, once upon a time Sanskrit was dominating, and both of them are exploiting, etc. I think this sociology is unacceptable.